everyone, welcome to Data Engineer YouTube channel. In this video, we will talk about the roadmap on how to become a Azure Data Engineer. So if I'm talking about Azure Data Engineer, I'm specifically focusing on Microsoft tech stack. So definitely if you want to be a data engineer, so there can be three different main fields, right? Number one is you go with the Microsoft tech stack, wherein you learn Azure Cloud. You can go with Google GCP cloud, and then you can go with AWS, right? So most popular as of now is AWS and Azure, right? And if I talk about the comparison between both of them, Azure and AWS, so Azure is leading and it is predicted by 2026 Azure will be the biggest cloud, right? So that's the main reason we should definitely go with the profile of Azure data engineer if we are starting from the beginning. Even it's very easy to switch, if the Azure tech stack, definitely you can switch to AWS tech stack very easily because the concepts are almost same, right? Now there are two things: either you can be a fresher or you are already into the data engineering field, right? So this particular flow chart is for both the categories, right? Now, these are the main topics I have listed down which you need to learn to be a very capable data engineer. So let's start with it, okay? Number one is the database part, right? So definitely when you are starting like from scratch, first thing which you should learn is the SQL, right? SQL is not only important in data engineering field but also in other fields if you want to go in development and so on, right? So if you are in a college and you are confused even, right, what to learn, you just start with Azure SQL because it will be required in majority of the domains, right? So now once you are done with Azure SQL, now you can start with Power BI. Okay, so Azure SQL is a relational database. We should also learn about non-relational databases just like Cassandra DB. So once you're done with Azure SQL, just parallelly you can study for non-relational databases. Okay, so in non-relational databases you have Cassandra DB and then you have MongoDB. Just learn anyone, and then once you learn anyone, the concepts are same, right? You just need to tweak a bit and you will be confident enough for any project, right, in non-relational DB. Now by the database end you should learn one relational and one non-relational. So once you're done with that, go with Power BI, right? Now whatever you will be creating, like you in your SQL, you will be transforming the data bit and then you will create some views, and then in Power BI what you will do is you will visualize that data. So whatever data you have in your Azure SQL, can visualize it in Power BI. Now in Power BI you need to learn multiple things. Number one is visual creation, which is very easy. Then is the DAX, okay, data expression language, wherein you create a lot of things. You can create some formulas and so on. So and then there is a warehouse creation. So once you're confident with DAX and visual creation, definitely you should learn how to create a warehouse, data warehouse, right? We can create warehouse using different schemas. We have star schema, snowflake schema, and then fact consonant schema, right? You should learn all of them. You should learn how to connect to tables, how to create relationships among them, and how to create a big warehouse, right? I have also listed on the ETA. So if you want to learn Azure SQL, it will take almost 10 days. And if I talk about non-relational DB like Cassandra, you can say it will take up to 20 days, right? This is not like you can just learn. So the learning method should be, you should firstly watch the videos or the documentation, and then you should try and implement it practically. If you will not try and implement it practically, definitely you will not be able to, you will not be able to gain confidence in this particular field. So practice is the key in data engineering, right? Now, once that is done, so in Power BI, DAX is done, visual creation is done, warehouse creation is done. So almost it will take 7 days if you are working very hard every day, right? You can create 2 3 projects by now by connecting Azure SQL with Power BI and then creating visuals on top of it. Then importing tables from Azure SQL, creating a warehouse, and on top of it creating visuals and so on, right? So these kind of scenarios you can take and you can create some projects. Now once that is done, you can definitely go for tabular model creation. So because now you are confident in warehouse creation, so this is the advanced level where you can create a tabular model and then you can do analysis on top of it. So you can learn that. It will take almost 5 days. Now once these things are done, you should learn Python basics and PySpark. Now PySpark is a framework in Python wherein you can deal with big data analytics. So if your data is very huge, right? Definitely at that time we don't store the data in SQL. It will be very costly. So we store it in other file formats such as CSV, Parquet, and so on. So and to analyze those files and that data, big data, you can definitely go with the PySpark, which is a framework of Python. Right, so start with learning Python basics and then switch to PySpark. Now once PySpark is done, we will be using Azure Databricks to analyze that. So now you must be thinking, what is Azure Databricks? So if you have big data in the form of Parquet file or any other file, right? In and those data is stored in storage called Azure Data Lake. You can store, or in your blob storage you can store that data, and you can analyze that particular data, right? So that can be done using Azure Databricks, Synapse, Fabric notebooks. All three things are same, just like because if we talk about Azure Databricks, so Microsoft had a partnership with Databricks, which is a separate company, and they launched a portal called Azure Databricks in Azure platform itself. It's very smooth, right? And then is Synapse. So I'll talk about Synapse in a bit while. But yeah, once you have learned Azure Databricks, what you can do is you can learn Azure Data Factory. Now the purpose of Azure Data Factory is to copy the data, migrate the data. For example, you have your obviously your main systems have data in your SQL database, right? Or maybe in a non-relational database. Now what you will do is to for the analysis purpose, you will not use the same database. What you will do is you will copy this data, you will dump it somewhere, and on top of that you will do the analysis. Now for that, definitely you will be using Azure Data Factory. It is used for data orchestration or migration, right, from one place to another. So now let me come back to Synapse now, because we know what is Azure Data Factory. So now what happened was, if we talk about Azure Databricks, it's used to transform the data, create machine learning models, and then visualize the data. And then you can create some mart tables, and you can definitely analyze it again in Power BI, right? You can connect Azure Databricks with Power BI. Connectors are available. Now this is not an in-house product. Databricks is, as I told you, was a separate company. Then Microsoft launched its own portal, which is Synapse Analytics. In Synapse, you get the power of ADF, you get the power of Databricks and Power BI altogether. All of three of them you will get in Synapse. Okay, so it's a 3-in-1 package, you can say. If you have learned Azure Data Factory, Azure Databricks, and then the Power BI, Synapse is nothing for you. Like it, you can learn it in, you will gain confidence automatically. You need not to learn even, right? So basics you will already know, right? Because it's the same UI. So ADF UI and Synapse UI is almost same, right? Just few more components like notebooks, which in case you must be using Databricks and so on, right? And then comes the Fabric notebook. So now Microsoft had launched Fabric. In Fabric you can get everything, Power BI, SQL, then your notebooks, ADF part, everything you get in one particular platform, a software as a service, which is Fabric. Definitely, if you know these things, automatically you know Fabric. And even if you spend 2 5 days on top of it, you will learn Fabric. Once these things is done, then you will go towards the advanced version, right? What you can do is you can learn about Azure app configuration. App configuration is very easy. Like you can just store your configuration keys. So this is the starting of preparation of Sometimes what we need is in data, we need to validate the data. We need some automation to validate the data. We need some automation, for deployment purposes and so on. For that, this is the basis. You need to know app configuration, key vault, and why I'm talking about these is these are the best practices. App configuration is used to just store the configuration keys. Key vault is used to store the credentials, the secrets, so that you can access them in your program, right? So once this is done, definitely what you need to do is you need to know about a bit of Python also. So Python basics, you should learn about REST APIs, how to use them. So each of these service have its own REST APIs. You need to know how to use them. So that's the advanced version. Like a person with 5+ years of experience should know this. Otherwise, company expects all these things, right, from a person. Uh, so slowly you can learn. Like it's not like you need to learn these things. Slowly you can learn, right? Key vault and then function app. So function app is nothing but let's say you have written a Python code which is used to validate the data. Now, where you will run it in your local. So, if for production, you will not run it in your local environment, right? For that, we have something called Azure Function App, wherein you can, deploy a code in the Function App, and you can add some triggers. Okay, at 12 a.m., it should run every day and validate and should send a mail, something like that. Okay, so those kind of things can be done in Azure Function App. And then because you know all these things, Fabric will be just very easy. All the concepts you already know, you just need to be friendly with the UI of the Fabric. That's it, right? Then you can learn the advanced Python, wherein you can see how you can create automation scripts. You can learn some frameworks like Selenium for data validation and so on, right? So those kind of things you can learn. And then definitely parallelly what you should do is you should learn any one of them, Jira or Azure DevOps. you know let's say whenever you are starting a project, definitely you should be documenting it. You should have some task for every day. So those kind of concepts you need to do it in Jira or Azure DevOps. So these are basically project management tools, right? In some organization, Jira is used. In some organization, Azure DevOps is used. My personal favorite is Azure DevOps because you get a lot of things. The repo, the you know project details and everything, artifacts, each and everything, even deployment in one particular platform, all in one service. But if you're using Atlassian Jira, definitely for CI/CD you must be using Bamboo and other softwares, right? But Azure DevOps is like five in one platform. All right, so this is the flowchart. Almost, if you want to learn it very seriously, it will almost take like uh, 4.5 months approximately, right? Uh, Now, what I will do is, I know this is very much, right? These topics are very much, and you must be confused how to start with. Let's say if I just talked about Azure SQL. Now, what topics you should learn in Azure SQL? What topics you should learn in Power BI, right? So I will be creating a single video on all these, tools and technologies. So stay tuned. If you are new to my channel, you can subscribe it. I hope I just gave you an overview of like what all things you must learn hai, right? Detailed video I'll make soon on each and every topic. I hope you like the video. We'll see you soon in some next video. Thank you.